Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I woke up at 4:30 in the morning this morning, and I just, sometimes, every once in a while, I just wake up, I guess because I got a lot on my mind, but this particular morning, I don't know why I woke up, and then, of course, I woke my sons up. They got up early, and the first thing they did is came in here asking me if I would take them to Chick-fil-A, which I did. So I am this morning drinking Chick-fil-A coffee, and I did have a muffin type thing from Chick-fil-A. So I got a good start this morning, but the problem with waking up at 4:30 in the morning is that at some point today, I'm going to be really sleepy in the middle of the day. But this is life. And we do have our first baseball game. My 8-year-old has his first baseball game where he will be facing live pitching for the first time, or live pitching from kids. All right, let's start this off. I like this tweet from XRP Crypto Wolf. He's so correct. We're so early to crypto that these gains we are making right now are nothing compared to the gains we will all make in the future. Once cryptocurrency is mainstream and worldwide with real world utility, the world is being digitized, so don't get left behind by not taking a chance. He is so right. Okay, now this came across this morning. SBI VC Trade tweeted this morning. SBI FX Trade X SBI VC Trade collaboration campaign is underway. They put out this little commercial. Look at this. It doesn't have sound to it, by the way. And I have no idea what it says. I have no idea what's going live here because I don't speak Japanese. Actually, they've got a link here. And let me see if my computer will translate it. I'll see if it says anything interesting. So, apparently, I think the FX thing that we were talking about maybe last week went live. Let's see if this thing translates to English when I open this up. Let's give it a whirl. All right. So it says XRP. This is their website. And then open a new account with SBI Group, answer questionnaire, and get XRP. I think it said you get 150 XRP. This is SBI VC, SBI virtual currency. So something has gone live with what they're working on. I'm assuming that's the FX thing. Now, for those of you with kids, I was going to cover this just because this is one of the ways that you know that this is really about to get some traction is when the porn industry starts to get wind of it. And it looks like Pornhub has added Bitcoin and Litecoin to its payment options. The news means that there are over 130 million daily visitors can pay for premium subscriptions with those cryptocurrencies. All right, enough of that. CoinDesk, the Swiss canton of Zug, aka Crypto Valley, plans to begin accepting taxes in cryptocurrency from the start of next year. That's a big deal too. I want to go to Zug, Switzerland. I've always thought that seemed like a really cool place. I've been to Switzerland, but they've got these little blockchain towns in Switzerland. Now Zug is one of them, and I think there's 2 or 3 more. Okay, last night I played this video for my wife. We were talking about, like a lot of families do, about saving money. And I showed her this video, and we both sat there and said, and you have to ask yourself, how many other families across the United States and across the world are having this same discussion? But we were literally talking about setting aside money in cash, and we both decided it was not a good idea because I played this for her. Listen to this.
Go beyond just the traditional 60-40 stock bond mix, or even the same countries and to broaden that diversification, to include in that portfolio assets that might seem unusual, to include some gold, to include inflation index bonds, to think about the currency exposure, to think about safety as different. Most people think that cash is safe. Cash is the least safe investment. It just doesn't have the same volatility to it, but it has, because they're producing so much cash, it has a negative real return. It's a tax that may be too go beyond.
That's Ray Dalio from Bridgewater Associates, a billionaire, one of the smartest guys that I've listened to. He's also the same guy that said cash is trash. So I'm paying attention. I will be buying more crypto, gold, and silver. That's where I'm going with this thing. In fact, I did today. All right, Ticket Attorney sent me this. ErisX. Now remember, ErisX. They're one of the major digital asset exchanges that is backed by a lot of Wall Street people like TD Ameritrade and NASDAQ and some of these. And they said that we have a big product news coming next week. Stay tuned. And of course, I haven't looked, but I'm sure there's a lot of people saying, well, are you going to add XRP? Let's see. Love your exchange. Any possibility you will be adding XRP? Yep. Now these guys, just as an FYI, this has been brought to ErisX's attention several times. Why are you not adding XRP? They've either avoided the question, or in one case, as I recall, they were like, oh, we're fine with what we have, or some kind of smart aleck comment. Once again, I'm totally perplexed but then again, I'll tell you this. Back when Coinbase, everybody was mad about them not listing XRP. They later added XRP, and we realized that they were not really enemies with Ripple at all. In fact, I think they're almost like a team, maybe. Okay, this was a tweet from Ryan Zagone. Remember, Ryan Zagone that used to work at Ripple, he's the guy that said proof of work does not work. And he was talking about this, a user experience with this company. He says charged $40 to $50 in gas fees, 5+ hour delays, transaction fails due to price movement. This is an underlying infrastructure problem with Ethereum. Clear reminder of XRP's superior architecture, scalable, cheap. I think he meant cheaper, faster. This is the same. Wait a minute. And then he says, considering the last 24 hours, the user is actually thankful for this terrible experience. Sorry, the old mic went out there for a second. Considering the last 24 hours, the user is actually thankful for this terrible experience. She was saved from significant short-term drop in prices, but when prices start to jump, users lose. They can't purchase the dip, undermining the entire discipline of trading. Anyway, bottom line is he's making the point that Ethereum, which is proof of work, does not work. Now, when Ryan Zagone came up, I thought to go and look at his LinkedIn page because I haven't looked in a while, and it turns out that he is now going back into the payments field. 2020 update. I left Ripple in July 2019 and devoted this year to my role as an advisor and angel investor in Everyman, a men's leadership development program focused on emotional strength. Our offerings help men connect more deeply to themselves, their loved ones, and their purpose. We have been featured in the New York Times, I'll be returning to payments in the second half of 2020. I'm experienced in the payment strategy and focus on facilitating fintech and bank partnerships that redefine customer experience, I bring a unique experience guiding the first and now broadest adoption of blockchain and crypto technology in the banking sector through my work at Ripple. So he's getting back in the game. Now, Michael at VAL5 Links had tweeted this out. FedNow will be a real-time gross settlement payment system with integrated clearing. It will offer 24/7 by 365 payment processing for every bank in the United States. Instant payments. Target date is 2023 or 2024. And this person says something I think sounds about right. What they want you to believe, LOL, hold. In a global depression, if it isn't by now, if it isn't by November, it's never. Bank liquidity problem inbound. Yes, I agree. Now, what this reminds me, what doesn't remind me of this, but I wanted to go tie this FedNow thing into Jess Chang, because Jess Chang has the most interesting resume of anybody that I've seen at Ripple, because she left government, went to Ripple, and then went back to government. And that is interesting to me. But first, before I go through something I saw here in her LinkedIn, because I showed her to you yesterday, I want to show you a clip of a video of her. We've shown before, but you need to see it again. This is her, I think it's at a speech before the IMF.
The other category of fintech innovation and payments is where you have a whole new payment method. A new way for money to move that's different from anything we've seen before. So this could be crypto assets, or it could be a blockchain-based payment solution. And this is a space that I worked in at Ripple. And it's this space that I personally find fascinating and exciting. What's important about this category of fintech innovation is that you have a new way for value to flow. What's new is an opening up of the type of connections between people, institutions, entities all around the world. This is really important for cross-border payments. Payments generally flow pretty freely when it's just within a country, especially when people happen to have accounts with the same bank. But for payments from one country to another, that's where you run into inefficiencies and frictions.
All right. So that's a clip of her speaking. Now let's go back to her LinkedIn page. We showed this yesterday, which I think is interesting. So she's a counsel and officer at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Then she goes to Ripple. Then she goes to be counsel at International Monetary Fund. And then she goes back to be senior counsel at the Federal Reserve Board. Okay. Now, what I found interesting is right here. If you look at her activity on LinkedIn, look at her post right here. Very exciting to be working on something so important for the central bank. Ultimately, the FedNow service can be a catalyst for innovation in the market by providing a neutral platform on which the private sector can build to offer safe, efficient, instant payment services to users across the country. So this is things she's been talking about: how to build a stable coin, certainty, finality, commercial law principles, Federal Reserve Board. She's got these are the things that she is focused on and that she's been posting about on here. And I think it's interesting to see what she's been posting on here. You can go through this and see all kinds of interesting things. But I find it very, very interesting that she's government, then to Ripple, then back to IMF, then back to government. Okay? Very interesting. Okay, now let's move along. Jonathan D. sent me this. If I can get these. Okay. South Korean authorities have reportedly seized Bithumb, one of the country's biggest cryptocurrency exchanges, by trading volume. I don't know any more on this right now, but this is something to watch. This could be a big deal. We shall see. Now, XRP Yo-Yo. Yesterday, I covered Craig Phillips, who's on the Ripple board of directors and also used to be counselor to the Treasury Secretary of the United States. I showed you the picture of him and Steve Mnuchin. XRP Yo-Yo posted this old clip. And by the way, this same guy is a Georgetown professor. Can't remember his name right now, but this same guy right here interviewed Brad Garlinghouse, and I also saw him in Brad Combs documentaries he's coming out with.
Space that they're relatively unfamiliar with or new, and it's just an interesting activity, being a financial regulator and sitting in your chair. So, I mean, when you think about the technology and the challenges that poses, how do you go about the business of identifying and keeping your eye out for the risks, again, not just or associated with the product, but with the technology itself as it becomes either commoditized or infiltrates the traditional financial marketplace.
Well, again, we're for innovation. So really in more mature areas like use of the cloud or artificial intelligence, there continues to be challenges of how regulators look at those things. Does the cloud represent a higher degree of cyber risk? Is artificial intelligence, if you use it, do you perhaps violate concepts of fair lending or disparate impact that are concepts the CFPB has? So all these are questions that really need to be solved. So I consider that kind of the crypto's kind of the new thing. The core fintech are sort of established processes that have gotten to some stage of maturity, but still need increased level of maturity for regulation. So that's why in that report we kind of separated the two. One, we weren't finished with the digital asset work, so we weren't ready to publish on it. And two, those reports were Treasury recommendations. They weren't interagency, so we did sort of make an effort of triangulating with other regulators, but they were really our thoughts. We had the pen. So that's, so really the excluding digital assets from that report is just a matter of, if that report was a year from now, it would have been integrated. But I do think it's important to look at the nature of fintech, and these are fairly traditional, addressing fairly traditional financial services needs. It's sort of, in some ways, a disruptive marketing technique. It can be a disruptive credit analysis technique. Speed to market innovation can be quicker, but it's largely sort of overlapping with what we would all consider traditional financial services. Crypto, digital, blockchain technology is like a whole nother step. So I guess the first thing is to get the first phase right, and I think we put out a framework that we're moving forward on. I think on digital
space.
All right, very interesting. Okay, and then you've got this from XRP Yo-Yo. Representative Tom Emmer, U.S. lawmakers advocate for blockchain use in COVID relief efforts. And this was an article from yesterday. Members of Congress are urging the federal government to use blockchain solutions to boost COVID relief efforts. In a Wednesday letter addressed to the U.S. President Donald Trump, and federal central lawmakers said blockchain technology can help identify and authenticate individuals set to receive government benefits, streamline supply chains, and create a registry of medical professionals. And this letter was written by, I'll show you the actual letter. But my question for you is, do you think it's a coincidence that this guy is in a conference call with the Chamber of Digital Commerce? He did a Zoom call with Brad Garlinghouse a week or so ago. He's on a conference call where he declares XRP. He says XRP is not a security. And then the next week, he's writing a letter to Donald Trump with his colleagues to basically say blockchain needs to be used for COVID-19 relief. I mean, come on. There's his name right there. And then you got Darren Soto, Warren Davidson. These are all the pro-blockchain people in Congress there. I'll draw your attention to Warren Davidson because yesterday I showed you another guy that works at Ripple now. His name is Ron William Hammond, author of the Token Taxonomy Act, which is what was the Token Taxonomy Act was put out by Darren Soto and Warren Davidson. And this guy used to work for, who now works at Ripple, was a Representative Warren Davidson legislative assistant. That's where he came from. Do I need to draw you any more pictures, folks? I mean, now this was from Michael at VAL5 Links. Moreover, the Federal Reserve has purchased $1 trillion in mortgage bonds since March, capturing 30% of the country's outstanding mortgage bonds. Folks, if you've been thinking about buying a new house or anything like that, or buying any kind of real estate, you might want to hold on for a little bit longer to watch this foreclosure nightmare unfold, because it's coming. It is coming. And 2008 was nothing compared to what's coming. Okay, now Uphold yesterday, this is big time right here, folks. Uphold, every time I turn around, Uphold is making all the right moves. I love this company. After fervent public commentary, we're delighted to announce that Uphold is supporting the Spark token airdrop. You'll receive Spark tokens on a one-to-one basis to the amount of XRP you hold on December 12th, 2020, the snapshot date. Then they say buy, sell, send, and trade over 60 plus cryptocurrencies, metals, equities, and more at Uphold. Uphold just made this big boy move. This is Mr. B. Made this big boy move, and I think they could end up eating Coinbase's lunch. Congrats to JP Tira, I think that's how you say his last name. And this is their marketing lady, Michelle O'Connor, that I talked to a couple of weeks ago, and the Uphold team for stepping up early in the process so their customers have a clear path moving forward. Watch their 2.2 million user base grow. Now, this is the reason I'm so, by the way, I also, when I talked to Michelle at Uphold, I also talked to her about how they need to get an Uphold vault similar to what Coinbase has. I think that'll go a long way. And she was all about it. Okay. Don't be surprised if you don't see these guys come out with something similar to what Coinbase has, like an Uphold vault or something like that. Because that's it's the only way that a lot of people would feel comfortable leaving things on these platforms. But I also, I'm just a reminder, this is on Link2's platform. That's LINQTO. The reason I keep talking about Uphold these shares, they've sold through like 7 series of this these Uphold SPVs. Now they've only got 193,770 left. And that's why I keep talking about this, is because these guys, now keep in mind, the backdrop here is you got Coinbase over here who's about to go IPO, who doesn't even respond to us when we're asking them to, are you going to support this token drop? They don't even respond. And then over here, you got Uphold, who is moving and shaking and making all the right moves and listening to their customers. And with this one, there's an actual opportunity to get into ownership of the private equity of the company. Huge. But anyway, if you haven't gotten any yet and you're thinking about it, there's only this many left. These things sell out so fast, it's crazy. But it's at Link2, linqto.com, and you can also they also have an app in the Apple Store and in the Android if you want to download the app, and you can get yourself started on that. Okay, I wanted to show you this because a lot of people have forgotten something about Coinbase and somebody who integrated with them early. Now, remember what we've been talking about, how Grayscale's been talking about selling this. Financial advisors are finally going to have a way to make money on selling these different digital asset related products. So we got Coinbase IPO rumors going on. Coinbase IPO rumors with an interesting bit. Coinbase shuffles board ahead of rumored IPO. Mark Andreessen joins as an observer. This happened this week. We talked about it. Well, here's something that a lot of you may or may not remember. Look at this. This is back in August 9th, 2017. Coinbase launches View Balance, integration with Fidelity. Remember, Fidelity manages around $8 trillion in assets, and they have FidelityDigitalAssets.com as well, which is supposedly just for institutions. But I always found it kind of interesting that Coinbase was willing to share their, why would they be willing to share their information on their customers and what their customers hold, what digital assets their customers hold? Why would they be willing to share that with Fidelity? This is an integration that they announced where people that have Fidelity accounts could link their Fidelity account to Coinbase, and then their balances would show here in their Fidelity. Their Coinbase balances would show in their Fidelity account. And then this is just showing you a video of it. Now, I went out and found a video where you can actually see how it works. This is from Fidelity Center for Applied Technology. Watch this.
What if digital assets could do for the transfer of value what the internet did for the transfer of information? A person's digital asset holdings would be part of his or her overall financial picture. To that end, we're conducting a test, allowing most customers to view their holdings with Coinbase on Fidelity.com. And we've made it easy. Once you log in, go to your portfolio summary view and look to the bottom left of the page. Click on Add a Non-Fidelity Account and a pop-up will appear. Click on the link to log into your Coinbase account and authorize Coinbase to provide Fidelity with data on your holdings. Go back to your portfolio summary view and see the dollar value of your Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin holdings with your other accounts. This is Fidelity's first integration of digital assets for the majority of retail customers, and we look forward to hearing what you think.
There's got to be something to
Fidelity
that
Labs
right
will
there.
continue to research, experiment, and test products and services to meet our customers and clients' evolving needs.
Okay, I wanted to show you that because here's where I think this is going. I believe that Fidelity and all these big, huge asset management companies all along have known what's coming. And I believe that when the time comes and when these things really start to go off, you're going to begin to see some of these Fidelity financial advisors that are going to be able to, they're going to start calling their clients is what they're going to do. But there's a reason. For some reason, Coinbase, there's got to be some kind of an integration beyond just seeing balances, because Coinbase has no incentive, or do they, to show how much money their customers have. Why would they show it to Fidelity? The only way because if you show it to Fidelity, then Fidelity's advisors would be calling your clients and saying, look, you've got all this money over there at Coinbase. Let's sell out of that and put it here. Unless it was an integration and they had a partnership of some sort. I believe that Fidelity is going to be right in the middle of this. And I believe that that there's some sort of a partnership between the two, where Fidelity is going to be able to offer a lot of products jointly so that they can maybe keep some of these people in digital assets and offer products offshoots of this. That's just me talking. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family. Keep your eye on Fidelity and what they do with this digital asset space, because I think something is coming from a retail perspective with them. Thanks for listening.
Every day, billions of people around the world are mocked, ridiculed, laughed at, and embarrassed by their friends, family, and even strangers. These people go through their days knowing there are secrets being kept from them. They hear the faint whispers behind closed doors. The information and knowledge is held very close and only shared with others who were fortunate enough to find out. Feeling lost, rejected, and ostracized, these people give up, never finding out what digital assets the digital asset investor holds. But there is hope. Join the free Digital Asset Investor email newsletter and find out what digital assets he owns each month, including investments he's considering. Click the link in the description of this video or go to digitalassetinvestornewsletter.com. Put an end to your days of gloom and depression. Join the greatest free digital asset email newsletter ever created.